Hey guys, Omar here, and today we are in my mom's guest room. You like my nice bedspread? Today we're looking at the Viltrox 27mm 1.2, a nice little beast of a lens, and this follows up Viltrox's 75mm 1.2 in what's called their Pro line. Now it's cool that it's called the Pro line because when I think Fujifilm, I think more fun and walking around with the tiny little lenses like this 35mm 1.4. I'm a fan also of the 23mm f2 WR lens. Those are tiny, the 27mm 2.8, which by the way, I would love to go head to head. I did take a picture, by the way, of the 27mm 2.8 and this guy. So it'd be fun to do a head to head between the pancake lens and this one. That'll be coming up. Now there has to be two reasons why you would get a lens this big for the Fujifilm system. Three reasons. Number one, you're pro, so you want, your lens to say pro right here. Number two, it's a 1.2, which is great on an APS-C camera. That gives you a little bit more blur in the background than you're used to with your 2.8s and your f2s. Now it's usually a sacrifice. If you're shooting 1.2, the lens isn't usually as sharp as it could be if you stop down to 1.8 f2. But this one I've noticed at 1.2, and most of the photos you'll see in this video are at 1.2, the lens is very, very sharp. So much so that I didn't feel a need to go to f2 2.8. If you buy a lens this big, you'll want to shoot it at 1.2. Another reason is maybe you shoot at night or in low light and you want to kind of bring those ISOs down. With an APS-C camera, you just don't get as much light into this opening as you do with larger openings and full frame openings. So it's nicer to have a lens that goes to 1.2 so you could keep your ISOs down. Now, I'm using it on my favorite camera because I just love the images I get from here. I love the colors, I love the contrast, but I could see this fitting great on the cameras that do a little bit more video. This is a fantastic video lens on a Fujifilm camera that has stabilization. I shot a little bit of video of my mom's dog, and just from the Fujifilm's older sensor and technology, I still love the way it looks, the shooting at 1.2. Just gives you that, dare I say it, cinematic look. All right, for you spec lovers out there, this has 15 elements in there. In case you wanted to know, it has 15 elements in there and 11 groups. It's dustproof, splashproof, waterproof, and anti-fouling. It has anti-fouling coating. That's what we have here. Has faster autofocus, good for video autofocus. Again, I didn't really have time or the right camera to test how good. Check some other videos for video continuous autofocus. I did notice on my older camera that there was a little bit of a stutter on the autofocus, but this is a pre-production model, and also it's the X-T20, it's older. I would love to test this on the new autofocus system of the X-T5 and the XH2 line. Maybe the XS20 would be great as well. Now, the other thing that's great about Fujifilm cameras and a 1.2 is you could use mechanical plus electronic shutter. If you haven't done that on your camera and you're walking around in sunny conditions, turn that on because the camera will have a mechanical shutter up to about 4,000th of a second, and then it'll totally go into electronic shutter if the shutter speed has to go too fast. So you can shoot 1.2 in beautiful, extreme hot sun. I don't know if you hear that thunder, but there's a storm coming in Puerto Rico. I think I can vouch for this. It says when the aperture is fully open, the image quality is at its peak. I didn't notice the image quality getting worse if I stopped down the lens, and not getting tons better. It was already so good at 1.2, so that was fantastic to see. I did a little sunstar photograph so you can see what that looks like, to see if you're, if you're into that. But at f16, what kind of sunstar, and if you're shooting towards the sun, what kind of flare you can get. It's nice when lenses give you a little bit of flare and character shooting into the sun. So I think I saw that in this lens. Some of the lenses are getting so good that they kill all the flare and sort of haziness that you could get shooting into the light. Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes that's what you want. It says it's waterproof. I don't think there's any waterproof lenses. It's probably like weather resistance is probably a better way to say it. It does have, let's see, does it? Yeah, it's got a rubber coating on the mount, which is really good. The filter size is 67 millimeters, which is very common for ND filters. Here's what it looks like, by the way, with the lens hood off. See that there? So it is a beefer. It is like full metal construction. It has a metal mount, of course, with the rubber like little ring on here. This is the front element, so you guys can see, super nice. And this is what it looks like next to the 35 millimeter 1.4. Again, a lot of us get into Fujifilm because of the size. So this is wonderful, but it'd be nice to see if there was a balance. Like, let's see more pancake lenses. Let's see lenses that are, you know, 1.4s, as small as they can be, you know, like this 35 millimeter. This, you know, this 27 and this 1.4 would have been nice. But we appreciate the 1.2, especially if you're pro. And I did notice that the aperture ring is very nicely, this nice clickable. It kind of has like a little tactile bumpiness to it, but it doesn't make any noise. You can't hear anything, but you can kind of feel, let me show you guys. You can kind of feel each little step fall into its place there, which is super nice. I'm not a super great reviewer when it comes to this. All I know is I like to take photographs and then look at them. And what I noticed was there's that good 3D separation. There's good contrast. The images look so sharp. So Viltrox is really killing it with, you know, bringing quality glass at a lower price point, especially now Fujifilm lenses aren't available anywhere. You know, to get a 23 millimeter 1.4, the new one, you can't. It's back ordered. So this might be your only option if you're looking for super low light pro performance. So that was a quick first look of the 27 millimeter 1.2. Can't believe that 1.2. I definitely want to do more videos with this. Try to shoot some video with it and more photographs to show you guys. All right, I'll see you guys next time.